Hello and welcome to the Ford GT Le Mans event. This is the 2024 edition. I went with 4410100 for upgrades, just over 1.35 million R dollars and 155 gold. Then the rewards down there, 200,000 R dollars and 60 gold. So my end cost there, 1.15 million R dollars and 95 gold to do it the way I did it for upgrades. I saw some people doing it differently where they were doing just 2-engine, 4-drivetrain, and then 2-body and 2 exhaust. And that'll only cost you 5 more gold, and probably, just off the top of my head, it's probably like 300,000 less R dollars. Although when I saw people do that, they were also buying the 3 other R-related upgrades. Like maybe it was even 6 of them, but like the suspension, tires and wheels, and brakes, those 3 categories, they would buy those as well. And that doesn't help your top speed at all. It gives you a tiny boost in acceleration. Mostly that's helping your grip. And that's fine. That would make the car probably a little more balanced. I'm just usually defaulting for the cheapest gold way. So that's what I look at first. And then if I can do it with less R, I will. Here, I'm going to do some donuts for a while, let them catch up. For the most of this series, though, I will not be obeying the normal rules of doing a recommended PR event. So usually in a recommended PR event, you finish as far back as you can to try to keep everything as slow as possible. I'm really low on R dollars, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to win everything. And let's just see how much that hurts me as we get to the end. So, that's funny, I got the pit maneuver done to me at the end there. In these earlier races, I won't win by a huge lead, but I'm not going to waste a bunch of time here. So, like for this race, I'm not going to cross the finish line much faster than I have to. So I'll go faster, but not a lot faster. So that is going to help, though, to keep the targets down. I was trying to do a bit of a drift, and it was a disaster. This is a short race, of course. So that's where the strategy is going to be different, and we're going to see how much that hurts me. There's usually ways you can undo that if you need to, but we'll just see. My goal is to win as much currency as I can, because I got, as you can see, very low. Now, a lot of these early races, the cars are so slow, it's just ridiculous. So I thought about maybe trying to pit every single car in this race, and then I realized, it's only 1 lap, so maybe I shouldn't get too crazy. I decided I'd just be a jerk and total off a few cars, and then I ended up getting kind of stuck behind this guy because he's trying to back up as I'm trying to go forwards. It's kind of because, of course, he was trapped against a wall. So I'm not being very nice. No, I won't be doing very much of this, guys. This is, oh my goodness, this is bad. I have, once in a while, it hurts me to hurt the cars this much. Oh my goodness, look at that spoiler. Well, that's going to be causing some handling issues. I mean, it won't, but that's kind of funny, actually. That's really funny, actually. So then I realized, wait, I still want to win this race. Where's the leader? And then I realized, he's just there. Like, they're dreadfully slow in the early stages here. He's not driving too slow, actually, but I'm just going to be a little bit nasty and try to push him, get him going, and he doesn't want to get going, of course. But we'll get into some pretty good action later on in this event because, like I said, I'm not going to be losing races. Not unless they are better than me. So this could get pretty intense later on. And I thought I can drift this corner a little bit. That'll let him catch up a little bit. I don't want to just slow down and waste a bunch of time. I might grind it across the start-finish line here. Okay. And that's going to wrap up stage 1 already. So let's get on to stage 2 and get something a little more interesting going on here. Ooh, we are at Laguna Seca, one of my favorite tracks. Starting at the legendary Corkscrew Corner. Yeah, this is a track, I hated this track when I first started the game because it's very unforgiving. Lots of flat corners, only this one's banked. But there's a lot of flat corners with a lot of sand around you, and the walls are so far away. So then when you make a mistake, it's just so costly. Most of these things I'm doing my first try. So there I decided to dump a little bit of a time there. But that was not much. That wasn't too much of a lead. Oh, and now it's Circuit de Catalunya, so we're just all over the place. Okay. And none of this is really a challenge at the start. Like getting 9 overtakes, I mean, of course, there's not enough cars for that. No big deal. You just, oh, that was a disaster. It didn't work the way I wanted it to at all. Now, for some races that are quite long, we will not be doing the whole race. I will just, I'll skip a lap or do something like that. I'll just fast forward through footage or totally skip some of it because it's just going to be boring. So here you catch up with Magnus and you can just overtake him, let him overtake you, do that a few times, and then you're pretty much going to be done this race. It's not a difficult race at all. Oh, I thought that was number 9. That wasn't number 9. We'll get number 9 in right away here. Ah, he's pretty fast actually. I mean, that is a Ferrari, so there we go. So there's my 9 overtakes. And I thought I'd just see what this handling is like. It's not too bad. I mean, definitely I've made this car quite loose with all these speed-related upgrades. So the advantage of doing all those upgrades right away is that I get used to the handling of this car. Oh, I didn't mention this earlier on. Well, so why did I do those upgrades? That's because of the race coming up quite a lot later, where that's the minimum upgrades I needed to do that race. In fact, even with these upgrades, it took me 2 attempts. And we're just skipping a whole lap here. So that's, I would say, kind of the minimum you need to do that race. The race, stage 6, race 3, I believe it is. That's what I found, at least. Okay, well, now we're jumping over to Suzuka for a bit. And speed record event. So for this one, again, I'm just going to kind of hit my target and not go too much over that target. So I do recommend you doing that. You don't get any extra currency for going over a target. It'd be kind of cool if you did, but you just get currency based on, first, second, third. So there's no reason to go heavily over first. That will unnecessarily make things more difficult coming up. And so again, I'm trying to test the limits of this car a little bit, and I obviously can't push it that much. So what I learned right there, I can apply that to all other tracks. So it's not that I have to relearn how to drive this car on all tracks. I can just apply that, okay, well, I really lost it on that corner, therefore it's like this car or that car in my head, and I have to adjust other corners at this track and at other tracks. So that's a big reason to be buying the upgrades earlier if you know you need them. So there, I've hit my speed. Now I'm just not really going to go over 289. No reason to. So this section I could definitely go over 289 if I want to. I just won't. So once I get to that point, once I get close, I'll just start feathering the throttle a little bit there. And same with this back section. I'm not going to go too fast as we get to the final chicane here. And we're going to a lot of different tracks. I guess they have us going all over the place. I don't think we end up at Brands Hatch at all in this car. No, not in this event. Yeah, I don't think so. So we don't go to all the tracks. I was just wondering, rethinking this in my brain. And a drag race, that's kind of interesting. I mean, this is really easy. There's actually a sequencing trick you could use, and this is kind of, this is the new sequence. So the first light is going basically on a 6 count. Second light will be on a 5 count. Next light on a 4 count. Well, it's almost 6.5. 6.5, 5.5, 4.5. So if you follow the lights, just watch. It'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there you go. And the last light should go on a 4 count. So you can do that to get really close. You could also do a pause or zoom trick until you see green and then reposition yourself. 1, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That was almost closer to 5, but about 4.5. If your counting is off, then it's going to be off. Sometimes my counting gets a little bit off because I speed up. So pretty rare you see me showing a drag race, but hey, that's all right. And that's it for stage 2. Here we are at stage 3, and things should start to get a little more interesting. Mount Panorama is a fun track. A lot of events with multiple things going on after this. So, you know, that there's the fuel. I still don't really get how fuel is supposed to work in this game. It's so frustrating to me how it makes no sense at all. Like 10 units of fuel, okay? What does that mean? Oh well. So, in case you're not familiar with it, fuel works as a function of time. It's not based on your RPMs, it's not based on actual things here. So that's why doesn't make any sense at all. The faster your car is, the longer your fuel will last, which is just funny. So it's, yeah. So the way you stretch fuel is you coast. That's about it. So being neither on the brakes or on the accelerator. I mean, when you're on the brakes, you're saving fuel as well, but it's better if you're coasting. So this time around, I just thought I'm going to push it and just see how much fuel do I have and how far can I push this car. So I'm over-braking this maybe a little bit. I didn't want to be doing that, which I just did. Because again, I'm still learning the car. You can see though at how I was driving Mount Panorama so far, I've adapted pretty well to this car already with these upgrades. I haven't driven this car for a long time. I've got it fully upgraded in my main account, but I don't have any videos of this event. So that's why I thought, well, I'll get a nice video done here. Lots of fuel left over, so fuel is not a concern. Oh, I'm driving in way too deep. Okay, well, gonna make that adjustment. So fuel obviously wasn't a concern, and time wasn't really a concern. I made several mistakes there. 110 seconds, that would be 60 and 50. So 1 minute 50, and I had no trouble there. I didn't mention it, but I'm driving with no assists at all. Tilt B controls. And I'm actually trying to get used to steering sensitivity 2 again. I've been running 0 for a while, but the problem is when I get in the McLaren MP4X or Ferrari F14 or the 412 or the Lotus 125, cars like that, I used to always drop my steering sensitivity by 2 notches. And that would help me to feel a little more normal in those cars. So once I got used to steering sensitivity 0 in all cars, that really made it hard for me to adjust when I got back into those cars. So I thought maybe I won't allow myself to drive at steering sensitivity 0 in all cars. It doesn't take too long to adjust. It is less twisting of the device too, so that is an interesting balance. I was doing driving the Volkswagen IDR at Indianapolis Road Course, and I noticed, man, I was twisting my phone a lot. And I'm kind of getting ready to do a several hours long race on the 8 Times Fame Day that's coming up here at the end of 2024. It's not what they're advertising it as. You've got to kind of manipulate your daily logins to make the two synchronize. But I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do there, and I realized that's going to really tire me out. So adjusting steering sensitivity can make it easier. Yes, I decided to be a little bit nasty. You've got to stay one position away from elimination at all times here. So now I can get rid of this guy. I might just pass him clean. Oh, that was nice of me. And it's a short race because it's a typical elimination race. They've sometimes given us like a 30 or a 40-second clock. One time we had a pretty cool race at Suzuka where it was like, I don't know, it was like 40 cars or something like that. And they were getting eliminated every 5 seconds. Oh! Smash-a-rooney. That's a little bit violent. Okay. So are we starting with no tires? I think so. Yes. Although it builds pretty quick. And the competition here is very slow. For the most part, I think. Is it all basically street cars? Because that's not going to be very difficult. We're not going to do the whole race then. I mean, like, I'm doing the whole race, but I won't make you watch the whole race. Or I won't let you watch the whole race, because for the most part, it'll probably just be me. I mean, there's one more Ford. It's all streetcars. Oh, but someone took off. Who took off? It's Magnus? No existence. What's he driving? Oh, he's really taking off. He's going to be difficult to hunt down. So, winning is already making it interesting. Oops, clip that wall. That's going to cause a problem for me. Well, that's not existence, that's a racer. Okay. A fellow Canadian. What are you... Oh! Ouchie mochi. Okay, well, I wasn't pointed in the right direction, and I'm smacking my nose up here. And well, I'm letting you see some of my mistakes. Obviously, I haven't fine-tuned this car. And that let a racer really get ahead of me. Oh well. I should be able to close this up pretty quickly. Because he's still not a very hard bot. Okay, that was better. And going to the last corner. Oh, yeah. I'll catch up a lot here. So what's he driving? Is it another Ford? Is this all... Yes. Well, we'll finish out this lap. Let's just see if I can redeem myself a little bit there. I was really blowing it on the last lap, and I've got to kind of get a better sense of how this car is going to handle. So take this pretty wide. Okay, that was pretty fast. I wasn't losing traction there. So that's good. This is one of the harder corners. It's almost like ooh, still clipping that wall. It's just, there's multiple things happening at that corner. It's an odd turn. It's not a steady turn. It's got a bit of a change in it, and then you're going up at the same time. So it's a very difficult corner. I found that's been one of my more challenging corners. And then still scraping that. And then this wall is kind of the inverse of that wall, where you're taking this left. It's more of a steady turn though, and it's going down at the same time. It's challenging. It's challenging corners. The rest of this I don't find near as challenging. The very last corner is a bit tricky because I think you're also heading downhill on that one. So just like this one, it can throw off your braking if you're not used to it. Okay, that's better. I could be wrong, but this feels like it's downhill here. We've warped to the end of the last lap, where I'm gonna... Oh, that was a little bit off track there. Forgive me. Really doesn't matter. Okay, that's the end of this stage. On to stage 4, where things should start to get more tricky. We're starting to get into LMP1s. So we drive all of them, and in different ways. Speed target here, actually, if you drive this track quite efficiently, you will not naturally hit speed, because you can keep it pinned in certain sections. So I don't know if they didn't account for that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can see I'm just going to slow down and speed up again a few times. The competition's going to be way far behind me, and I'm not really going to care about that. I'm just going to do my own thing here. So I'm going to over-brake a little bit just to get my speed down to that below the target amount, so I can hit speed again, and then do that again. And that's already 5 times, and so the rest of this might happen. But I actually I did this race, and then I had 3 more speed targets to hit at the very last section, and I only hit 2 of them. So I actually failed this race because I drove it too efficiently. So I'll have to slow down a little bit more here and there, just to make sure that I'm not going to do this race again, because that gets a little bit annoying. And I'll probably hit my last speed target right here. Yeah, definitely, no problem. So no challenge at all, really. I mean, unless you really... If you're having trouble with this car because you've never driven it before, that could be a challenge. Don't know if you know this, some people don't know this. if you chose to buy upgrades for this car, they stay with the car. Oh, I drove that in too deep. Oh! The upgrades will stay on the car, so whenever you do get the car, it'll already have those upgrades on it. So it's not a total waste, but there's just no reason to do that. So unless this gets a lot more difficult. One of these here is a lot. Yeah, this is the one I find kind of interesting, I think. You got to complete a lap in the other direction, and so that gets interesting. I'm not going to keep it clean because I don't want to. Meaning I'm going to lawnmower mode this last corner here. First corner going this direction. A little bit of lawnmower mode there. But that's okay. I'm sure that was unnecessary. But I just didn't feel like driving really slow through that. And they don't care. Nice thing about this is there's no going wrong direction symbol flashing in the middle of my screen, which you normally get when you drive a race in the wrong direction. I used to actually do this a lot at a lot of tracks. I used to know all tracks forwards and backwards. And it's handy when you get stuff like this, because we've had some races where you had to do a lap in reverse and it was actually really difficult. So that's why it looks like I know this track pretty well backwards, because I do actually. I mean, it's not optimal. I definitely could do this a lot faster. And then got to stay out of their way. We'll have a little bit of fun going down Kemmel here, because you just have to. This isn't Kemmel, of course, but after Lacombe Corner, which is coming up here. Right, not this one, but this is Lacombe. And as we get down to the Radion section, I will take a sharp left, and we'll have a little bit of fun. Do a short little freeze frame, because if you're going to do something like this and you want to catch cool pictures, you got to do it right when you're doing it. So there's a jump. Pretty decent jump, actually. If you watch that in a replay, it'll show the car on the ground. So if you ever want to capture jump footage, you've got to pause while you're in the middle of doing it, which can be a bit of a challenge. Oh, overdrove that a little bit. Probably no one near me. Yeah, so I'll do a slide around. I'll turn around the right direction. There we go. Make it look like I did that the right way. That's not a requirement. You don't have to turn around. I just wanted to. Okay, and then I've been lent this car. This car is definitely a faster car. Looser, though. It's a weird car. In real life, it was kind of a disaster. In this game, it's a pretty fast car. And pretty loose, though. So it's a hard car to handle like that. It's loose. Very loose. Front-wheel drive. It's odd. So, but I'll just blast by these guys. Well, I'll have to be careful at Eau Rouge, though. There you go. That was fairly controlled. And then that's it. I'm just going to take off and watch my braking points. Been a long time since I drove this car. Probably should be doing some training in it, because I might also do some 10-lap races for the 100% fame period. Like, I'm definitely going to do one really long race, and maybe that'll be it. But I might do some more if I've got time and energy for it. We'll see. So, yeah, doing the Le Mans here is pretty easy in this car. I mean, yeah, I've been winning a lot, and still the competition is not getting fast. These names are different, though, so, oops, overdrove it. You do have to get on the brakes earlier in this car. It's got a lot of speed, but you're definitely on the brakes early in this car. Yeah, they get into some bot names that aren't normal, so then it's hard to know how difficult they are. But so far, they're not. That will change. I'm going to get some more difficult competition here. Definitely. Okay, let's have some fun here. Let's see if I can get stuck on a wall. There we go. Takes 3 seconds to get out. Oh, and in that time frame, this guy, oh my. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be fooling around. They are faster than I thought. Yes, if you phase into a wall, they will let you out after 3 seconds of being in that penalty box. Sounds kind of funny. Okay, this endurance race, we're definitely not going to do the whole thing. It would be a pretty long race, because I decided I would see how far I can go and actually get kind of aggressive with it. It's interesting. I thought it starts off being really easy here, so that's 3 cars. It starts off being really easy. The trick some people have is, how do you keep the average speed up? And you could take off-track cuts if you want to. One of the big tricks is what to do when the race ends. You don't want to let the car do its normal thing where it slowly grinds to a stop. Don't do that, because you're going to have your average speed wind down quite a lot. So I'll show you a trick. I'll just tell it to you right now, but I'll show you the trick as we get to the end of the video. Basically, when you throw the car sideways and you're sliding, your car actually stops. Like, speed in this game is based on the rotation of the tires, not how fast the car is traveling. So when your tires stop rotating, your endurance race ends. So we're going to warp ahead right now, because I ended up going several laps. And so here, my time's about to run out. I thought I could get this guy, but I just couldn't. And so I'm going to throw the car sideways and watch. Race ends. As soon as my rear tires stop rotating, well, all the tires, it ends. Okay, so there you go. Now, things get more interesting. Stage 5. And things start to get interesting. Now, this is interesting to me. I remembered back to when I did this in the Ferrari, and I thought you had to have a perfect lap staying on track in order to pass this stage. Because if you go off track, it tells you failed. Apparently that doesn't matter. So you won't get any currency, but if you go off track, it doesn't matter. You just have to finish within 3:15, which I thought was interesting. So I'm trying to drive this really hard. I'm trying to drive it very aggressive, push those limits, because I know it's going to get more difficult, because I'm trying to win everything. So I'm going to be pushing it. I'm not quite sure of my braking point at the chicanes here. I think this car actually has decent brakes, even though I didn't upgrade them one bit. So I'm driving it in a little bit deeper. We'll just see what that's like. Well, that worked. And yes, that looks like it's off track, but it's not off track. There's a lot of this track that isn't off track, even though it looks like it's off track. So I know that sounds funny, but you've got to know where you can push it and know where you can't push it. So this chicane I can't push as much. The entrance to the chicane here I can push a little bit, like I can go like that, but the exit of the chicane, like right here, I can go a little bit lower. So you can push it a little bit where it looks like you're off track. The rest of this, not. Except for the very last chicane. That's the one where you can push it more. So, I mean, here you can go push pretty far over to the left here. You can get way over into the sand. So that's kind of cool as far as pushing those boundaries. But yeah, you just got to know the boundaries of this game and push them wherever you can. So I'm going to try to make the sharp right-hand corner coming up here. I'm going to try to make that as wide as possible. That's what you do to carry more speed through those corners. So I start my braking point up high, and then I try to dip really far down here, and well, there we go. So off track, invalid lap. Let's just see what happens, if that actually matters. People told me it doesn't, so I'm going to drive it all the way through. In the past, I would restart. So let's just see. And I'm still going to keep on really pushing it. I want to make sure that the rest of this event is at this circuit. So we have to do really, really good here so that, we can handle all the traffic and everything else we're going to have to put up with here. Oh, losing it there. That's shaving a bit of time. Not sure if that was off track or not. You can't get invalid lap twice. So I kind of wish time trials worked the way the competitions work, where you don't get invalid laps. You just get a time penalty. That would be nice. And you'll see later, you can cut that chicane pretty tight without it being... Oh, there we go. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm glad to know that tip. So, results not submitted. Oh, I did get currency. It just doesn't give me the proper end screen, but... Okay. No, so here, I'm going to be pushing it, guys. Like, finishing in at least 26th place. There's no way I'm going to hang back in 26th place. Absolutely not. So you're going to see me really push it and get through as much traffic as possible. Some of these back markers, you got to be careful. You don't want to get damaged way back here. It's just going to hurt you in the rest of the race. So yeah, I could have plowed through these guys and made more overtakes. I'm also not going to do a bunch of off track, even though I could be. I don't remember if this said no off track, but I'm going to, unless I have to, I won't be going off track. Again, you can see I'm taking it pretty tight, but being careful. A mixture of different cars here. We still have some street cars here. Won't see much more of that. So I'm already in 26th place. Apparently this is good enough. Well, not apparently, it is good enough for this particular race. I'm not okay with this because my earnings for this race are going to be horrible. So let's get up here. Let's push it. Let's get a lot more overtakes in. Let's just see what I can do. So I'm going kind of with the second braking marker here. On the left, you're going to see that, yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, catching up nicely. Okay, let's see if we can get some more in. Quite a lot of cars. I might be able to get a lot of places. I'd love to get into the top 10. I'd be very surprised if I could pull that off. Unfortunately, there's no slipstreaming because this is a pretty old event. So no slipstreaming. Oh, gaggle. Be careful. There we go. Very nice. I don't think I'm going to see top 10, but you just never know. If you don't push, you don't know. So one advantage of this is I'm definitely learning a little bit how to get overtakes done in this car at this track. It's really about the same thing as any other car, but it does help to know what you're talking about, know what you're doing. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. That really blew that for me. Come on. Oh, I would have loved to have cleared this guy and been like way down the track. That's a really bad place to lose traction there, to go off track and blow a nice long speed run. So can I get 8 more cars? Oh, maybe. There's a gaggle up here. And the bots drive the Porsche curves. They're very bad. Like even Indianapolis corner here, just watch. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Not me, them. I mean, I was cutting that a little bit off track maybe. I know in regular racing, you'd have to have all 4 tires on under the curb. That's not how this game works. So you go with what the game gives you, and just get more of an advantage. Okay. Well, do I get top 10? That's the question. Oh, losing it there. Not good. Not good. I'm not getting top 10, I don't think. I mean, unless there's a big gaggle coming up. Can't see it. These guys are getting fast, so this could be troublesome for me. Slice through this. Oh, and getting loose. Zoe, I'm taking you out. Well, I got top 12. More pay. I need more pay. I mean, that's just it. I need to earn the money. You know, this is a long race. We won't necessarily do this whole race. Well, we'll see. If the action's interesting, we will. Okay, come on. Let's get under both of these. Get a nice run. Okay, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, boy. Those are fast. Those Aston Martins, they are fast. That's going to be a problem. You can fight off LMP1s in those cars. So that gets interesting. Trying to keep it clean. As far as I don't want to get damaged, that was definitely contact. There are going to be LMP1s in some of these races, so that's where it gets pretty dicey. Oh, I wish I had a better run onto the start, into the Mulsanne straight here. It's not a very good entrance. 15th place, I mean, I think I could get top 10 this time around, because I'm already 15th, and we've got a ways to go. So this will be dicey, because he's going to be really in a wrong spot for me in my braking zone. So I'm having to really adjust. Oh, come on, get that one. Yeah. I was going to really smash him to get him on the brakes, but I thought, I'll keep it clean. So you can only skid once, which that's actually not a lot of grace. But that's okay. Like top level racing, you need to go multiple laps without ever skidding. I mean, they do skid, of course, but it's just you're definitely giving up. Ooh, nice overtakes. When you're skidding, you're definitely giving up time. That was nice. That was really nice. That chicane. I think that's the Michelin chicane. I didn't look it up. I didn't refresh myself. I'm pretty sure that's Michelin chicane there. That was the worst spot of this whole track for me for years. I don't know. I just never felt comfortable there. And I'm finally, last couple of years, I just got comfortable there. Well, I'm already in the top 10. I'm pretty happy about that. So now I got to shoot for the top 5. And let's just see, like, these guys are fast though. Look at that. These guys aren't messing around. And of course, though, I've got to be careful. So I've got to push it, but not lose it. Come on, I'd like to get you right here at Indianapolis. Set that up. Beautiful. Power out of this corner. Ooh! Okay, that counted as my one skid. Wow. I thought I would have cracked my windshield. It's possible these windshields don't crack. And some of the racing cars and some of the motorsports cars, the windshields won't crack. So the only way to know if you actually had race hindering damage is to pause the game and look at your front end, see if it's all smashed up. So it kind of looks like I could hunt down Magnus. Looks like I could. He is pretty fast, but let's just see here. Looks like I can hunt him down. Yes. But you know what? Then we're going to skip it, because that's as good as I could do. The whole rest of the lap, I didn't see anybody. But I'm happy with that. 7th place, I'm happy with that. Evening race. Honestly, this one gets kind of annoying because you can't go over 310. So, yeah, you've got to really blast your corners. I get a massive advantage coming out of your corners here and get a little bit aggressive here. Like, already I'm in position that I would finish this race fine, but I need to get in front of Magnus. I don't like Magnus, so grind across Magnus' front end there. The trick comes, of course, as we get into the Mulsanne straight, because Magnus is just going to be going crazy fast. So here I can really blast it. Don't have to worry about speed here. But oh, okay, well that was gorgeous. That was just fabulous racing. Not really. Magnus will be all over me, and I'm gonna have to hit the brakes soon or coast. So now I've just got to feather and watch as Magnus gets all up on me. And the other problem could be other cars stacking up behind Magnus wanting to take this 2 wide, 3 wide. So you got to blast the corners and not mess up like I did. Oh, Magnus, what happened to you? He fell way far back. But then I've got to start lifting here. So if you're using Tilt A, you just have to start hammering the brakes a lot. I'd recommend you don't use Tilt A. I mean, it's okay. It's less fatiguing to use Tilt A, I will say that. In fact, maybe I should be training Tilt A for my really long race. Huh. I like the option to coast for accident recovery. Coasting is a really good way to recover from accidents or when you slide off track. Okay, well, I thought Magnus was going to be on me a lot more than this, but obviously he's not. Yeah, he's not. This isn't a challenge. Let's get on to the next one. So here we are warping ahead to the end of the lap. As you can see, no challenge at all. Magnus was not a problem for me. You just keep doing what you saw me doing. So this one, we've got an average speed requirement. and finish in at least 7th place, and so they're pushing us further and further. I mean, I'm already starting in 9th, so finishing in 7th is not going to be a problem. And if you wanted to, you could definitely be cutting corners here if you're having trouble with your average speed. There's 2 full laps to go. Should not be a problem to hit that average speed, even if you don't take any cuts. So let's just see. We'll do at least 1 lap this way, probably just 1 lap, because my guess is that the rest of the cars are way off in the distance. So let's just see if I can hit my average speed here on the Mulsanne straight right away. Taking this, oh, that was silly of me. I went off track, and so that threw my car sideways. Definitely gonna hurt my average speed. So, I mean, I should get it up to 330, I think, still, even with that horrible drive onto the straight. Not much more than 330. But there we go, already hitting average speed. And no one really around. Oh! I wasn't expecting that. Oh. Well, you could get higher than 7th place. Well, let's just see if I can. Average speed shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I'm going to be giving it back at the end of the lap as we get to the, not so much the Porsche curves as I get to the last chicane, but the 2 really sharp corners, Indianapolis being the last one of them. I don't know if I'm going to catch this guy. Oh! If I'm looking too much down the track. Good grief. But as you can see, average speed is not a problem, even if you are not taking cuts and making minor mistakes. Wonder if I'll catch him at Porsche curves. Maybe not. Well, I'll say average speed at 253. So I'm already a decent amount over. I haven't banked a lot of extra though. 255. 256. Let's just see if I lose it. It starts to build a lot. So this is where we've got a couple of low speed corners in a row. So that's really going to eat my average speed. Yeah, it's falling pretty fast. But come on, let's... Oh, that was close to the wall. You can see I'm taking Indianapolis as wide as I can. Come on, start building. There we go. Now we're building again. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to catch him. I think he stays out there. Losing it a bit. I can see that. I can just feel it starting to happen. It sounds funny to people, but I feel things this view. When I use driver view or bonnet view, I can't feel anything. I'm just not used to it. So it's really just whatever you're used to. Like, there's really no right view. Like, there's, for a lot of this, like driver settings, hey, whatever works for you. Steering sensitivity, whatever works for you. I decided to cut that to see if I could gain on this guy. And come on. The only thing that does matter is steering assists. Those, definitely you need those off if you want to be fast. Driving assists, all driving assists. So steering assist, brake assist, traction control. You definitely need those off if you want to be fast. Well, I decided to cut a bit just to see if I can catch them. There we go. That was good. Okay, let's see what kind of speed I can build here. That was pretty good drive on. I maximized that. So I should get up into the 330s. Oh, he's gaining on me. 331, 2, 3, 4. Definitely can take that faster yet. Come on. Come on. Can I get top 5? Is that possible? If I cut. I could. Just don't want to lose what I've got. So I'm not going to risk what I've got, but I definitely want more. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's get this. Oh, come on, let's get this. Come on. Get a little bit smashy. I can't get my front end in front of him. Ooh! Well, that might have damaged me. Well, that's one way to get 5th place. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay, well, I don't know if I can get any more than that. In fact, I know I can't, so let's just fast forward this. We're just heading to the last chicane. I tried to blast it, tried to get 4th place. So close. So if you do more cutting, you can get further up. That finishes off stage 5 for us. Starting stage 6. This gets more and more difficult. You can see I'm more and more under recommended PR. So this should get more and more dicey, more and more fun. Okay, so look at this. At Mount Panorama, 10 units of fuel was given to me for 1 lap. Now I've got 15 units of fuel for 1 lap here. We skipped that whole race because it was just a joke. This is a really long event, but fuel wasn't a problem. It's just so weird. Now things get more and more touchy. You can't go off track. And so, this is where it's good if you practiced, like I was saying. Now, I wish they would have given me control of the car earlier. I'm blocking that Ferrari for sure. Come on, man, lay off. Yeah, not likely. So again, you got to set up your corners really. Oh, don't do that. You got to really maximize your corners here, because these guys are going to be faster. So if you want to win, you're going to have to really push it. Okay, I want to get Zoe right now. I'm not going to have a good... Oh, decent, not great, decent. Get him to hit the brakes. So smacking them like that, light contact, if your front bumper's in front of their front bumper, and you do a little smack like that, they'll hit the brakes. That was very nice, because that means there's less chance they're going to get tangled up with you at the next braking zone. So that's why you see me doing that quite a lot. This is just a way for me to get around them. Ooh! That was sketchy. I did it. That's sketchy. Driving forwards while looking backwards is a bit difficult. So, because everything's backwards. So it's very interesting to do that. Sometimes I do that. Okay, look at him. He's gaining on me. So I got to be very careful. I'm braking kind of deep here. Ooh, nice. Oh, look at that. Huge gains on Magnus. He was down to 20 meters behind me. Now, I've gained over 100 meters just at that corner. I wasn't sure. There was no LMP1s here. I wasn't sure if there was LMP1s in 7th or 8th place and I had something to worry about. This part of the track, you don't want to look backwards very much. Oh yeah, I'm gapping Magnus more and more. And that's basically it for this race. It's just me gapping Magnus. So we've skipped through that. Let's get on to the next race here. Getting into more action. Okay, here's the race. Here's the race that is the reason for all these upgrades. You don't have to worry about winning this race or anything like that. Just turn around right here. Get this done right here. You don't know you're doing a full lap and coming back to this. None of it matters. You'll see what I mean here. So I picked a certain spot on the track, and that's my start point. Don't get my front end out of here. Basically, I'm lining up my rear wheels with this line. And then I've got to take more of a straight race line. If I take it super wide through this, it kind of blows my entrance to the Mulsanne straight. So watch this. I'm going to drive as straight as I can, really maximize this. Now I keep it to the far left. Okay, 212 miles an hour does not equal 341. It equals 341.181. So watch, I'm going to be at 341 for a little bit before it lets me pass, because I have to get to that 0.181. So I'm just going to start steering over to the right in a little bit here, because I got to keep it full throttle, and boom, the race is over. So that was my second attempt. First attempt, I hit 341, but didn't get to that, just over it. And you get paid for the full race. You get paid for winning the race. I love that. That's awesome. So that actually is not the hardest race. Now, a lot of this is difficult for me because I've been winning so much. So this starts to get extremely difficult because now I'm going to get some really heavy-duty competition, and I've got an overheating engine, and I've got 2 full laps to go, I do like that this is old school overheating. What I mean by that is that the heat goes down when I coast. This is the way it always used to be, and then they switched to where the engine wouldn't cool off no matter what you did, which I just found weird. That's just not realistic. But I mean, there's the odd circumstance where that could happen, but it's pretty rare. Like, you'd have to have, I don't know, really blocked intake, I guess, for that to happen, where there's no way your car would cool off. Yeah, that happens actually. If you watch NASCAR racing, it actually happens quite a lot. They get a piece of garbage on the nose, and then they've got to get up behind another car to create suction, or actually the opposite of that. Actually, the air gets destabilized, and then it will just kind of come off. Or if they end up going through the grass and they get a bunch of grass in the front end, there's all sorts of reasons why that happens. So yeah, there are cases where they have to pit and get the front end cleaned off, or it's just going to blow up the engine. So that, yeah, okay, I'll let that go. But this is working kind of old school, where you're overheating, but you coast a bit, you get some, then it calms down. So this is tricky. You can see there, I get going, but then I've got to start coasting, and I've got these guys on my back end pretty quick. You could do the pit maneuver on these guys again and again, but you're going to slow yourself down because you're damaging yourself. So that does get risky doing that. And also, oh my gosh, I thought he was going to pit me. While you're pitting people, the competition will stack up around you, and you can end up getting all tangled up in a pit maneuver of your own. So you got to be careful out there. Okay, well, he's all over me, and I'm starting to heat up a lot. Man, is he ever all over me. Ooh! That was tense. That was some tense racing. Wait, now we've got Magnus on my bumper? That wasn't Magnus before, was it? Whoa, he's right there. Okay. Yikes. Okay, obviously that other guy wrecked. And now, that's tense, man. And there could be someone else on me in a second. I don't think Magnus is... I think they must measure it from front bumper to front bumper. He wasn't 5 meters behind me. He was like not even 1 meter behind me. Anyway, and then obviously he got overtaken. Oh boy. This gets a little bit tense, doesn't it? Obviously, I don't have any way of moving higher up than this, though. So I can't get higher than this. Well, we're still going to skip ahead. I did end up losing a position. One of the LMP ones overtook me, but that's okay. I finished in 7th place. That's reasonable. That's good enough. So we're just going to be happy with that and keep on going through everything we got to do here. This one's funny. Finish within 1 minute and 40 seconds, but you can't cross the finish line going faster than that certain speed. So, and then you've got cars that are really running strange in front of you. It's kind of dicey, so you got to get by all this as fast as you can. So knowing how to get through that corner, like taking it super wide like I did, is very handy. I could just leave Zoe alone, but nice if I can get around her. Magnus, man, he's fast. He's just on me. It'd be nice if I didn't have a bunch of people around me. Now it says 203 off 204. That's incorrect. We don't have another full lap to go yet. Oh well. If I can't be in front of Magnus, I'd like to overtake him here if I can. I don't think I will, though. No, I'm not going to get him. Can I gently shove him into the grass? Nope. I mean, yes, I did, but he didn't get fully into the grass. If he got fully into the grass, he would lose it, and I'd be able to overtake him. I might get him at Porsche curves. Oh, no contact. And then I'm all loose all over the place. Oh, nuts, oh, nuts, oh, nuts, oh, nuts. Okay, Zoe. Can I get Zoe? I don't remember if it said no off track or not, so I'm just going to keep it clean. I should be able to get Zoe, though. So now I've just got to be able to grind it at the end here. Okay, now it's going to slow down. Oh, I did my spin too early. Oh, well. Oh, it gave me first place. Well, isn't that nice of them? Stage 7, this should get difficult. I have been trying to finish as high as I can to get earnings because I'm very low on currency. Okay, so again, the units of fuel aren't necessarily making a lot of sense. Okay, you gotta really blast through this quickly, trying not to get a lot of contact. Like, yeah, this isn't making a bunch of sense. But I'm gonna have 15 units of fuel for one lap, but then they gave me 10 units for Mount Panorama. That doesn't really make sense. There's 16 units. Okay. So how fast is everybody here? Okay, I'm already having guys gain on me. I've got to get more positions yet. I don't know if I have to save fuel. Let's just assume I don't. I want to finish. I want top 10. I think that's possible. Oh, they're driving in side by side. That's great. That means they're going to really slow down. Oh, it's Aston Martins. That's not great. Oh! Nuts. That's not good. I wish there was slipstreaming. With slipstreaming, he'd really be helping me right now. But he's not helping. That is pressure. That's not 5 meters. Guys, that's like 5 inches. Well, no, it's probably is 1 meter. Perspective-wise. Okay, let's get past all of this right now. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I want that Porsche to stay there. Aston Martin, you stay. Oh, nuts. He's going to pull, try to get me. Oh, boy. I got to block him. I don't have to worry about the Porsche. It's the Aston Martin I have to worry about. Okay, oh, coming up on another gaggle. Ooh, pushing it. Yeah, all right. Okay. Hey, top 10 might be in my reach. I am a little worried about fuel. Well, there's more braking as we get to the back section, though. Still, I'm a little worried about fuel. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. So hopefully I can drive. I've got to do really good at the Porsche curves. That's the only way I'm going to get more overtakes in. Look, they're just driving away on me. It's like I said, this gets more and more difficult because I've been winning so much. Now, possibly I could just quit, retry, and it would become easier. But sometimes you have to actually finish the race and lose by a lot to lower the difficulty. These are long races. I'm not doing that. Oh, little tag. Well, I got myself into 15th. It's not horrible, but I've got quite a ways to go here. I'd really like to have that top 10. It would just be nice. It's always nice to win whenever you can. Okay, come on, let's go through this. They're driving pretty good. I'm kind of impressed, actually. And what was my minimum place? Was it 14th? I mean, am I just doing the bare minimum now? That's not like me. Well, usually it is. But I should be able to get one more here. Shouldn't I? Maybe 2? For sure, 1. 1 for sure. Okay, nice. Nope, not going to get you. Wow. That was tight. That was tight. And it just keeps getting like this. Finishing at least 6th place. And they're not joking when they say no colliding or no off track. You can get away with minor contact, but I was doing too much of my side banging, and I failed. So you definitely cannot get away with much contact here. You got to be careful. And there's a lot to go here. Like, I've got to get up a few places yet. So it's yeah, it's tense. They're fast. Like, look at this. I'm way back in 12th place, and that Corvette's pulling away. Oh, it doesn't help when you're loose. Now this is interesting. Oh, this. No, they drove that really good. So yeah, you gotta watch what you're doing here. I mean, I should be able to. Oh, come on. Good. He's going to be a problem, though, the Ferrari. He's going to be a problem as I get on here. There you go, though. You can't afford to be doing what I was doing on the other races there where I totally lose it, getting onto the Mulsanne straight. Because bots take that very badly, so you've got to maximize it. Oh, man, he's on me. Oh, boy. Okay, I need to definitely get at least one here. I'd like to get two. So, like, you're defending, and then you got to push. Zoe, I'd like to get in front of that Corvette. Corvettes are not going to challenge me as much. There we go. And then I've got Magnus too. You know what? I bet you that's it. I bet you once I get Magnus, it's probably just LMP1s after that. So I'll just see here. I'll get in front of Magnus, and then we'll get a sense of things. Overtake him right here. Beautiful drive out of that chicane. I have a feeling it's LMP1's in front of me now. Okay, now, oh, he's starting to gain already. That's important to watch, just to see. Ooh, into the braking zone. He's getting really close. Let's see if I can pull away from him decently. Gaining. I do watch those numbers a lot, like as far as how much of a lead I have. And then I watch him start to close. Oh boy, he started closing pretty quick. Odds are that I'm not going to move forward much more than what I've got, because it's very hard to defend. It would be nice to have a car between me and Magnus, but not getting very much out of this. They take this corner very poorly. Still though, look at that, like barely getting a 50-meter lead before he starts shutting that down again. Well, I need to outdrive him in the Porsche curves. That's where I really need to get him. And I'm just on the edge of losing it. You could just see me starting to step out. Look at him though. Oop, overdrove that a little bit. He's gaining, but nice. Whoa, boy. That's not good. Well, I think that's about it. So I know there's another 2 laps to go. We're not doing it. You're going to see here, I'm in 6th place. I'm still in 6th place. So that was just 2 more laps of me driving in 6th place. So, but hey, good, decent earnings for that race. Gotta love that. You really get nice pay for this, doing this. Now I can't get overtaken. And we got, well, yeah, about like 1.75, 1 3/4 laps to go. I gotta push it. I think I can get up there though. This is not like, whoa. Okay, I gotta be prepared to block both lanes. That is not easy, blocking both lanes. And I'm giving it to him, but he's not gonna take it because it's too late. Now, I definitely don't want that behind me. Oh, that was rough. That was pretty rough. That might have been damaging for me. Let's just do this. Let's see what carnage we cause. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was some serious carnage. Awesome. Okay, I figured I was already damaged, so what does it hurt at that point? I might be able to win this race. Come on, Zoe. You got to be careful you don't overtake if you don't think you can hold it. I think I can get Zoe, though. Let's see here. She's not pulling away. Not very much. I mean, a little bit. Don't get me wrong, a little bit. But let's just see if I can catch her right here. That would be awesome if I could overtake her here. If I can get a nice drive out of the corner. Come on, I just need to get my front bumper in front of hers. Ah! Oh my gosh, that was a bit violent. If you overtake them and then they overtake you back, you fail. So you got to be careful. That was risky. Can I catch Magnus, though? That is the question. And where do I finally catch Magnus? I really want to catch Magnus this lap. That would be great. I mean, I'm probably pretty heavily damaged. Now, we know from the last race that he is not going to do near as good as I do through the Porsche curves. But can I make up this much of a deficit? This is a pretty big deficit right here. So let's just see how much I can gain him in through the Porsche curves. I guess like 160 meters back. He really, it's surprising how much they overbrake these corners. Like, look at that. That's pretty good. And then last chicane, I think I might get him. If I get him here, then we'll skip the whole next lap, because it'll just be me winning. So what's the point? Oh yeah, look at this. Huge gains. Overtake him last chicane. And there we go, warping ahead. I mean, we are into the next lap, but we'll just back it up a little bit. You can see I actually was even slowing down there a bit. Not a problem. Nice pay. Getting close to the end of this. This one, oh boy. We've got a car that's at a real deficit, and it shows us starting with no tires. It's not really that bad though. But this is just, I just get nasty. Like, that was most likely a damaging thing. This was a really, really difficult race. They're just all over you. And so, and your grip is not as bad as it seems, but they're all over you on this race. And you can get a whole big gaggle breathing on your back end. And it can be a lot to defend. Like here, that's interesting. Landy's really falling back. As you can see though, the car's not driving as bad as you think it would with only 14% tires. So right now this looks easy, and if I show you the whole next lap, you're going to think it's easy. It's actually not that easy, but it's just going to look boring. So we'll just skip this lap, but I hold it. I managed to defend and hold off and keep my 4th place position, which is more than I had to keep, but that's all right. We are winding down now, and the races do get more difficult. So I've got to finish my race here in at least 4th place. It's a longer race, 30 units of fuel. That is definitely less fuel. They were giving me like 16 units a lap, and now I'm not even getting 15 per lap. So I might end up saving some fuel here. So 4th place. So check this out. They do that every single time. I had to redo this race quite a lot to find my way through the traffic. And so they do that. It's funny, every single time those two cars would do that. So then I was able to plan that out and nicely get around them, because every single time. Now, I don't want to save fuel. I guess the biggest thing is don't waste fuel. But there's an LMP1 coming up behind me in a big hurry, as you can see. That was an Audi wrecking with that Ferrari. And that Audi is very fast. But I am going to push to get ahead of these other guys, because they don't seem that fast. Like, I gain them quite a bit in the corners. But then, of course, they gain on the straights. And so Porsche curves, I might really get ahead of these guys. We'll just see what happens here. A good gauge is going to be my fuel. If I'm at 15 units when I start the next lap, then I'm pretty set. Like, look how much I've gained. This is not making sense, actually. Why would I be gaining so much? That's very surprising. Like, they obviously start really speeding off at a point, but they are substantially overbraking these corners. Like, look at this. This does not make any sense at all. What? That doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm obviously not saving fuel very much if I'm blasting by all these guys. Okay. Well, maybe I'll look at saving fuel once I have the lead. Ugh. So to do what I'm doing right now, you have to know exactly where they want to drive and drive there. That's how this works. Now I'm really blowing my braking point there because I was trying to block him. What I'd love is for him to get tangled up with the Audi. So we'll just see what happens there. I can't look behind me for too long. It's a decent lead. I don't think I'm going to have to worry. they must have got tangled up a little bit with each other. So I think I can win this race. It's not, oh, but my fuel. Oh gosh, I've been driving it too aggressive. Well, slow down when you have the lead. I mean, I've definitely burned through more fuel than I should. 14 units. Okay, come on, let's blast. That's a Porsche. I'd love to be right at least near you. Can I shove you off track nicely? Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Now I can manage my fuel. Especially if the cars are single file behind me. I definitely have to save fuel. I don't have enough to do what I did last lap. So I definitely will have to be saving some fuel. But that's not going to be too difficult. I've got a nice lead. It's going to close up quite a lot, but that's okay. We are going to warp ahead here just as we're heading to the last chicane. You can see I'm very low on fuel, but I didn't use it all up. So there you go, and I'm winning a race that I don't have to win. Okay, I did take myself to 0.01 units of fuel, but there we go, guys. Okay, so here we are, final race, and they want us to do the legendary 3 Fords finishing, recreate that. So you got to contend with a bit here. You got a very fast Ferrari there. Smack him a little bit. Come on, stay in your place. And then I got Zoe and probably Magnus. Is my guess. Ooh, Zoe! Wow. I mean, maybe that's my fault. Maybe I got into the that zone there a bit late. So I've got to get in front of Magnus and then create a bit of a gap. And that is going to be the trick, because Magnus is going to really be pushing these Fords. There we go, little tap on Magnus. And then I'm just going to try to tighten the gap up. If there was slipstreaming, this would be easier. So what I need to do is give the car in front of me a little tap, but not too much. If I tap him too much, he'll hit the brakes. So a little bit of a tap, just to get him to get up there. I'm going to hang out here for quite a while. I actually want to win this race. It did say that I could either win by a massive amount or make sure Fords are 1, 2, 3. I want to recreate the historical event, and so I'm going to try to get the Fords to be 1, 2, 3. But then I got to be careful of Magnus. So again, I'm going to give him a slight tap, not enough that he brakes. Oh, I gapped Magnus a little bit there. See that? Now he's going to start to close, but we're still a little bit ahead of where we were. So heading into this one, we're going to be down to like 20 meters, I'm guessing. Oh, Magnus, your closing rate's ridiculous. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, I'd like to see a 50. I'm not going to see a 50. Okay, we're going to probably be down to 10 again as I get into this point, maybe. Maybe down to 10. Maybe not quite 10. Not as bad. So I'm having to be very patient with this guy in front of me, which I'm not wanting to be very patient with him. I'm wanting to really blast through all this. Still not quite getting that 50 that I wanted. Maybe as we come out of Indianapolis, we can... Thing is, these guys are probably going to really slow me down going through these next two sharp. Oh, come on, Magnus. He's all over me. He's right on me there. There we go. Nice. He did not do that very well. Gave him a little tap there, and you know what? I decided if I really leave him alone, I didn't interfere with him. I don't think Magnus has got what it takes to pass in Porsche curves. I think he's going to leave that Ford alone. I'm just going to gamble it that he is, and I'm going to go for the lead. And now it doesn't matter if I slow this guy down a little bit because there's quite a big gap. But I'll try to stay out of his race line. Yep. I think this is going to be good. Now I'd love to do the 1, 2, 3 side-by-side finish, but that's not going to happen. So I just have to hope Magnus stays in line, because I want to win. I need the currency, guys. As you can see, I was very low on currency. I'm slowing down here, letting him catch up. Nice, there we go, 1, 2, 3. And if you go back to the beginning, you can see I've earned about 600,000 R dollars through this event. Here's stage 7 rewards. Please like, please subscribe. Here's some other stuff you might find interesting. Thank you so much for joining me today. Best of luck as you earn your new Ford GT Le Mans car.